This is a T422 production.
If you want to talk some Simpsons, we do it with distinction. Insert brain here. With Springfield in our vision, our spirit is embiggened. Insert brain here. Flanders, Quimby, Otto, Man, the Hassa, Beam, a battle on. Insert brain here. We've got Simpsons to ponder. Here comes David and Connor. Insert brain here.
Welcome back to Insert Brain here, a Simpsons podcast. I'm your host David, and with me as always is my co-host Connor.
Hello there.
Today we're talking about Season 2, Episode 13, Homer vs. Lisa and the 8th Commandment. The original air date for that was 7th of February 1991.
Very good, very good. A question you want to ask me, David?
Yeah, what's this episode about there?
I'm glad you asked. This episode begins with a little flashback, or a dream rather, I suppose. It's not either. To biblical times.
Yeah.
Homer's ancestor, or a character who's played by Homer in this dream, whatever, is a thief. There's a character who sells inscribed things, or whatever, or statues in the shape of God, something that would be against the Ten Commandments. And then Homer meets Jacques, or an actor who looks like Jacques playing. You get the idea.
Yeah.
Who's an adulterer. And then Moses rocks up and he goes, here's the Ten Commandments, and those three characters are out of jobs, or out of luck.
Yep.
As their jobs go against the Ten Commandments.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then Homer wakes up to hear that Ned Flanders is trying to be sold illegal cable, and he jumps up at the chance to snatch that away from Ned because Ned's not interested. He gets the illegal cable and then rots in front of the TV for several days, enjoying his new found, reacquainted love of television, I suppose. Reignited the flame. And then, or when they're at church and the kids are at Sunday school, Lisa learns about hell. And violating the Ten Commandments will get you sent to hell. And one of the commandments is stealing. And she's like, well, Dad, you're stealing by stealing cable. She starts seeing people stealing little things and breaking little rules all around her. To the point where she's like, I'm not going to partake of the cable anymore. Homer's like, well, I don't care. Then Marge starts to feel the same way. She's sort of swayed by Lisa. And Homer goes, well, I'm putting my foot down because there's a big boxing match coming up. I'm inviting everyone round and we're going to watch the big game on our illegal cable. Homer does. Not just his friends come over, but Apu comes over. The police find out about the illegal cable, and then they come over to watch the boxing match. Mr. Burns comes over. Mo comes over.
Yeah.
Bunch of people come over.
All the while exposing
more of Homer's theft.
Yeah.
Stealing stuff from work that he has to hide from Mr. Burns.
Mo's glasses from
All of
the
his
tavern.
glasses are stolen from Mo's tavern.
Yeah.
Homer sees on the boxing match that one of the boxers is talking about his time in prison. He has this sort of panicky moment where he's like, oh, geez. I think the newscaster says he was in prison for murder, theft, and then Homer hears in his brain, murder, theft, or murder, arson, and stolen cable.
Yeah.
He thinks, oh God, that could be me. He has this sort of moment where the bars that he's put in his window to protect himself from other thieves because he's becoming paranoid are the bars of a jail cell. Yeah. And he sees himself separated from Marge and Lisa. So he grabs Bart, takes him outside and says, we're not watching cable anymore, and once the boxing match is finished,
I'm cutting it.
And then he does. And that's the end of the episode. As he cuts
third
cut, he takes out all the lights in the street, and as he cuts the cable, the episode cuts to static. The end.
Yeah.
So that's the end of the episode. That's the whole shebang. A recap done in under 5 minutes, I think.
Probably.
Wow.
I know. Almost unheard of. Only 50% of the time.
No, sometimes I do a long one.
I know. Only when I waffle, innit?
David, what did you think of this episode of The Simpsons? What did you think of it? And don't say you thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I was inhaling to do exactly
I could hear
that.
it in your mind. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
It had some good moments.
It's
alright overall.
Yeah.
Couple of good laughs. What more can you
Stop
ask for?
fucking reviewing it from my point of view.
I'm reading your mind right now.
Yeah, it's
Looking
creeping me
into
out.
the future and knowing what you're going to say. What more
It's
can you
freaking
ask
me the
for?
shit out, right? So I have nothing else to say on the matter because Connor said it all. No. I think that this is maybe
in fact,
not.
You know what? Let's change things up a little bit.
Okay.
Instead, I'm going to pose you a question, David.
Okay. Yeah. Let's go for it.
Is this episode outdated?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
I
glad
would
we've
say
answered
so.
that. Full stop. One word.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes. Next.
Is there a way that you could update this episode by making it about shared Netflix accounts or something? It couldn't be Netflix, it would have to be Disney Plus. Because it's a Disney show. They wouldn't promote Netflix.
You could, but you could also do it about like illegally downloading shows or something like that. It'd probably run better as like a shared.
I think even illegally downloading movies and shows,
It's still a little bit
it's
outdated.
antiquated.
Yeah.
I mean, it's on the rise now because streaming services are becoming increasingly
Stupid.
worse.
Yeah.
But I think...
Not Disney. We would love Disney. Thank you. But yeah, I think definitely some sort of streaming service theft of some kind,
shared password nonsense.
that kind of thing.
But
would
I also think
probably-
it's not as much of a... The shared password thing, one, not theft.
No.
Fuck off Netflix.
It's
not theft.
It's not.
And also, it's not as much of a phenomenon as stealing cable was in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
There's a
Oh, I remember like the dodgy skyboxes you could get and stuff like that. If you got your
really?
skybox, you could actually get it fit. Like someone would physically alter it. You would have like channels and areas that you didn't pay for.
Really?
Pretty sure. I'm not gonna dob myself in here or anything, but
Yeah,
I'm
you're
pretty sure
outing yourself.
there was someone that I knew that had a sports
Hey, listener,
add-on.
I'm going to phone the police right now.
Good.
I'm reporting this right now.
That had sports channels that were not privy and paid for.
Hello, police.
So you could get shit like that done.
I wasn't speaking from a place of personal experience.
Mm-hmm.
I was saying that because I know that there's also a Seinfeld episode.
Ah, okay.
A
Well, there we
famous
go.
Seinfeld episode where Jerry Seinfeld has illegal cable.
Yeah.
I think he gets it through Kramer.
Right.
And he has a nightmare sequence where the FBI show up and gun him down.
Nice. The only other thing I can think of is maybe like Fire Sticks, like the Amazon Fire Stick or whatever. You can get that altered now if you want. But some of the older generations, I don't know the specifics because I don't actually know anything really about that one other than the fact that it's possible.
I'm aware of that. Maybe that would be a better alternative.
Yeah, something
where you
like
can
that.
get Disney, but
Because that does.
you can
as
get
far as
Disney
I'm aware,
Plus shows on those. Probably,
no,
from what I've heard.
I'm not sure. I don't think so, but I am aware of the fact that you can get
You
paid
definitely
for
are.
services. I'm not entirely certain like what is and isn't possible with that particular like setup, but I am aware of the fact that there are definitely paid for services that you can get for free.
Right, yeah. No, I think you can, and I think conceptually it could be a good alternative if you were to do this kind of episode again now.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I think one, Disney wouldn't allow it because you're promoting the fact that these illegal Fire Sticks exist.
Yep.
And two, I don't think it would be a big enough story for a modern episode.
No, I don't think it would be. I
Who
think
goes
Simpsons
to,
a
who
little
goes
bit
to
kind of like
space in
too
that
big.
episode, you know?
Yeah.
Who goes to space when Homer gets illegal Fire Sticks?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I don't think it would happen, but you could potentially modernize it if you were to.
I think
try.
as it stands, it is
But
a little bit outdated. I don't think people don't use cable anymore.
No.
As a matter of fact, I saw an entire movie once
Mm-hmm.
called Stay Tuned. Have you seen Stay Tuned?
I think so.
It's a comedy movie where a couple get illegal cable. And it turns out the guy puts their cable in.
Yeah.
It's the devil!
Yes.
And they go to hell.
Yeah.
And they meet a hellish version of Wayne's World called Wayne's Underworld.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I don't think that's. I definitely think that's really quite outdated, that one. But I mean, it is what it is. Some episodes are. It's from the 90s.
It
It's
was
from
relevant
1991. It was relevant at the time.
at the time. Yeah.
Yeah. What I would say is because of the fact that we're watching it in 2024.
It is 2024.
Glad you had to confirm. So because we're watching it in 2024,
It is 2024.
the fact that it is outdated kind of made me not care.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't really care about what happened in the episode that much.
Wow.
I thought it was a.
I
thought it was a pretty good episode.
I was the opposite. I really cared.
Yeah, really.
I think the concept of it being cable is outdated, but I think the reason that the episode holds up so well is because the moral still stands.
Yeah, yeah.
The anti-theft element of the story still works. I think it still holds strong.
Yeah.
And the idea of like Homer's serving himself with this cable, and the argument that develops from that between him and Lisa, I think feels very real. I do wish though that it was more that we had more scenes of them together.
Yeah,
feels
rather than
like-
just sort of like Lisa says her piece and then buggers off and then comes back and pops
Lots
up
of
and does a
scenes
piece.
of Lisa separate from Homer and her guilt around the fact that they have illegal cable growing,
Yeah.
and then Homer enjoying the cable and not growing his guilt at all,
Yeah.
and becoming more
And then all of a
entranced with it.
sudden,
And then
just guilt.
and even when Homer's guilt does manifest, it isn't connected to Lisa.
No.
He doesn't
it's like-
actually listen to Lisa, or maybe subconsciously he does,
Maybe,
but it's not portrayed as that
her protest isn't really the impetus for it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
The two are completely separate by the end.
Yeah, I see that. On the other hand, I'm all for stick it to the big guy.
That is true as well.
So,
yeah.
You know.
Yeah, there is that. I agree with that to a degree.
Yeah. Yeah, to a point.
To a point.
Yeah, and it's a fairly subjective point, I would imagine. But
Yeah, I'd imagine
still.
everyone has their own line in the sand. But
yeah, but I think to a large degree, a lot of people wouldn't. Well, cable theft in the 1990s was fucking massive. Like free cable was rampant. So
well, I mean, there was a point where I pirated Disney Plus.
did you? Oh,
I didn't pirate the whole channel, but I mean, talking about this.
yeah, sure.
I illegally watched The Mandalorian Season 1 because
Okay.
when The Mandalorian Season 1 came out on Disney Plus, the service was not available in the UK.
Ah, of course.
It was less a thing of sticking it to Mickey Mouse and
Yeah,
more a thing of, if I don't illegally find a way to watch this,
you don't get to.
I will have the show spoiled for me.
Yeah, of
Because
course.
it was a huge hit. I think 2 or 3 episodes were already out by the time I started.
Right.
And so I was like, if I leave it,
Hmm.
I'm going to know everything about this before I even get a chance to watch it.
Yeah,
And it wasn't like they went, well, it's out now, but it'll be out in the UK. This is a total tangent, but it'll be out in the UK in 6 months, 7 months. At the time, there was no
Planned
guarantee we
release.
were ever going to get it.
yeah.
So it was...
It was just an American audience sort of situation.
And I don't mean to throw you under the bus,
Hmm.
but I know you've dabbled in theft in the past.
Oh,
Your music downloading.
No need to phone the police about this one. I got charged for just a fine, thankfully, 'cause I capitulated and deleted stuff. But I illegally downloaded a lot of films.
Oh, was it films? I thought it was music.
It was films, music, and TV shows.
All 3.
All of it. I got heavily into the illegal downloading of things.
See, I never
And,
illegally downloaded anything.
Right. Well,
It was a streaming site that I used.
oh no, I illegally downloaded a lot of stuff from BitTorrent sites and through BitTorrents and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, was that the 2000s?
Yeah. Some
They were quite big then.
Yeah.
Not as much now.
No, you don't really need them now.
I did use this year actually, I did use a BitTorrent site to illegally download the subtitles to a foreign film. Because I got a copy of the film.
Right.
It didn't have English subtitles.
Yeah.
It was a mixed language film.
Right.
And it was like an Italian Blu-ray copy.
Right.
But the Japanese was in Japanese without English subtitles. So I had to bring up the subtitles, which I technically had to illegally download because there was no other way to get a hold of them.
Yeah. Well, I, since in a similar sort of illegal but not really kind of way, I have multiple copies of Nintendo games on like Game Boy and stuff like that, and the battery inside them ran out, which means you can't save it.
Yes.
I have multiple game cards and things like that of games that I used to quite enjoy playing, and more recently I had to emulate them, which requires you to illegally download the game because you can't actually get the game except from
And Nintendo will fuck you for those.
Oh, they'll try, but
now that they have your confession on tape on this episode, which I will edit and publish.
Very good. That's fine by me.
They will pump you full of cum.
Fine by me. I'll take them to court. I'll fight that in court over Nintendogs. Thank you. No, it's not.
That's a big hitter too.
It's not Nintendogs. Okay.
Okay. David, this is Ion Springfield, the segment of this show where we covered characters who've made their first appearance in this episode.
That's the one.
Drederick Tatum.
What?
Blank stare instantly. Drederick Tatum. Who's Drederick Tatum? He made his first appearance in this episode.
Is he the dude that installed the cable?
Wrong-o!
Okay.
Wrong-o! Wrong-o!
You need to clip a few of these and start using them elsewhere as well.
Who's Drederick Tatum? Every time you get it wrong, David, it's another diameter I'm waiting in your arsehole. Another centimetre gets added.
I was going to say.
Another centimetre to the diameter gets added.
Right.
So there's quite a lot to lose here.
It's not Marge, is it?
I feel like you might be throwing this on purpose now.
Right, who the fuck else is in this episode again?
You want me to tell you?
Sure.
Drederick Tatum is one of the boxers.
Oh,
he's the one who was in prison.
Oh, that would kind of make sense. He's got that kind of name about him. I forgot about the boxers
Tatum.
at all.
He's the one that sounds like Mike Tyson.
Right.
David, who is Watson?
Watson. Just Watson.
Yeah.
Is he the commentator?
It's the other boxer.
Oh.
It's Watson versus Tatum.
Oh, right, okay. So, you only get his last name. Right.
Watson never shows up again as far as I'm aware.
Right, okay.
Now, David, this is a tough one for you to get.
What's that?
Who is Moses? Professional as always, of course.
Is it Moses?
Correct. 10 Commandments, okay. Moses.
Okay, nice. Glad I got that. It was a close call.
David, who's the cable guy? I'm not talking Jim Carrey.
I was going to guess that.
Oh.
No, the dude who installs the cable.
Yeah, that's the one. Because of the movie The Cable Guy from 1997 with Jim Carrey.
Fuck anyone who doesn't understand that reference.
And also Jack Black and Owen Wilson and Ben Stiller and Matthew Broderick.
Fuck anyone who doesn't know that reference.
First appearance.
I'll get the lube. Okay, what?
Of Troy McClure.
Troy McClure. Is it the first appearance? I feel like I've seen him before.
Well, he's
Oh, have we heard him before?
No.
Okay.
What you're thinking of maybe is that Phil Hartman, who does Troy McClure, also does Lionel Hutz.
Oh, right. Okay, maybe we were talking about the fact that he also voices... Yeah, okay.
Lionel Hutz has appeared in the previous episode where Homer sues Mr. Burns because Mr. Burns hit Bart with his car.
Yeah.
A couple of episodes ago.
Yes, aye.
Yeah, first appearance of my favourite Simpsons character, I would say, Troy McClure.
Yeah.
Anything else to add to that conversation, David, or are you done?
I'm out. Definitely need this coffee.
Okay, let's take a break again.
Yeah. Alrighty. Back.
Alright. We're back with coffee.
Correct indeed. It's closer to hot than it is cold, but it's there.
You know what else it is, David?
All over my crotch. What?
3 blind mice trivia. It's time for 3 blind mice trivia.
Yeah.
The trivia segment of the Simpsons podcast where I talk about Simpsons trivia related to this episode, and sometimes just in general. Sometimes, David, I get to an episode and I'm just like, Bart's shirt is orange. It's always been orange.
Is it? Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's my usual reaction, of course.
What award did this show win, David? Let me do that again. This episode won an Emmy.
Really?
It was the show's second Emmy win.
Really?
Lisa's name was added to the title, as it was found episodes with her name in it did better. That would explain why the Homer versus Lisa thing doesn't really match up in the episode.
Yeah.
Because it was added after the fact.
Yeah.
Homer versus the 8th Commandment.
That kind of makes a bit more sense.
Yeah.
And it also seemed like kind of a long title as well.
Yeah, Homer
I mean,
versus
not
Lisa
too-
and the 8th Commandment.
Yeah.
It feels like it should be Homer versus Lisa or Homer
versus-
and the 8th Commandment. Or,
yeah, something like that. Yeah.
or Homer versus 8th Commandment.
Yeah.
Or Homer versus Lisa or something like that.
Yeah.
It feels like two titles that have been smashed together.
Yeah.
Phil Hartman,
Mhm.
who of course plays Troy McClure and Lionel Hutz,
Yep.
also plays Moses in this episode.
All right. Okay.
He did it as an impersonation of Charlton Heston, who played Moses in the 1956 film The 10 Commandments.
Yeah.
I've never seen it, but it's on my watch list.
All right. Okay.
I've heard the 4K restoration is amazing.
All right. Nice. I had not heard that.
Okay.
Did
Homer,
I just react to everything like that? Because that wasn't really a part of the trivia, but I still reacted as if it was part of the trivia. So I
Always.
always react.
no, it's something about this podcast.
Okay.
Homer getting hit by the truck is taken from North by Northwest, another film I have not seen.
Yeah.
It's one of the few Alfred Hitchcock movies I haven't seen.
I have seen some of it, but don't give me any credit because it was on at school.
Oh, right. Okay.
And the only reason I've seen some of it and not all of it is because the substitute teacher for English did not believe that we had been watching a movie.
It's always the substitute teachers in English.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is with English teachers always being off.
Yeah.
I haven't seen North by Northwest because it's not on 4K.
That's fair.
It's because it's one of the only Alfred Hitchcock movies that wasn't put out by Warner Brothers.
Right, of course.
Or Universal, or vice versa.
Something like that, yeah. That's fair.
The episode was based around cable TV as that was a new concept at the time.
Weren't we spending like the first 10 minutes after the
Mhm.
recap of this podcast talking about the fact that that's such an outdated concept?
Yeah, and it was new at the time.
Very good.
Like I said, at the time I'm sure it had its finger on the pulse and that was very cutting edge, but it's
Yeah.
you show that to a Zoomer kid.
A what?
A Zoomer?
The fuck's that?
That's the generation after millennial. Technically, that's what I am. They'd say they'd say cable. Cable isn't skippity toilet.
No, what?
Cable doesn't have Kiat with the Riz.
Hold up. What generation are you technically?
I'm a Zoomer, apparently. Generation Z. You're born after 96. I'm not going to say my exact year of birth, but I'm going to leave it up to the mind of the viewer.
I'm fucking reeling. The fuck?
Yep. The films that they watch on cable that Bart mentions the ending of are what, David?
Wait, what?
Sleeping behind the wheel.
No, I'm still reeling over the fact that you might be Gen Z.
Yeah, apparently so.
Yeah.
When they're watching the movies on cable, Bart mentions it's either Bart or Homer mentions the ending. 3 movies. I'll give you the first one to jog your memory because you look like you've just pissed your pants.
I have.
He says this is the part where the shark eats the boat.
Ah, yeah, it was
a
Bart.
reference to Jaws.
That one was Bart.
Obviously,
and
that's
it was
Jaws.
Bart for all 3.
What are the other 2 movies, David?
That's the only one I might have gotten.
I know, good.
Oh, shit. I don't even remember what he said for the other ones. That's the one I remembered.
Do you want me just to tell you?
Sure.
It's
going to be faster.
Die Hard.
All right, okay.
He says this is the part where he falls off of Nakatomi Plaza.
Oh, I wouldn't have clocked that part, but yeah.
And then I haven't seen Wall Street, the 80s movie.
I don't think I've even seen that either.
But I'll do a commentary track on it then.
Yeah.
Boring Wall Street, we'll call it.
Yeah.
He says this is the part where he gets arrested on Wall Street.
Fair. Okay.
And
Guess he must get arrested.
I assume, apparently,
Yeah.
somebody gets arrested.
I kind of like the fact that Bart knows all those movies, though.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
1950s actors Troy Donahue and Doug McClure were the inspirations for Troy McClure.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Reese met Doug McClure's daughter after he had passed away and asked her if he was aware of the connection. She revealed her father was a big fan of The Simpsons. He saw Troy McClure appear and asked aloud if they were making fun of him. He became a big fan of the character to the point where his children would sometimes call him Troy McClure.
That's nice.
That's lovely.
That is really good.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Burns' boxing reference, the Eskimo boxing, places his age at the time at around 120 years old. Yeah.
Yeah, I clocked the fact that was incredibly old reference.
It's an insanely outdated reference.
Yeah.
I
think they basically just sort of looked at like maybe the earliest or one of the earliest.
What's the oldest possible? I love the idea that they have these scenes of Mr. Burns talking about things back in the day, and it's like things from 200 years ago.
Yeah,
like some of the terminology that he uses as well.
Yeah,
is so insanely outdated.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it would just be like a couple of words or a word or something he'll throw out there, and you'll just be like,
it's not even outdated.
It's like colonial fucking America is when that was last sort of used.
It's like what he calls the TV is so obscure.
Yeah.
In that other episode.
Yeah.
That's the end of 3 Blind Mice Trivia. That's the end.
Yes, it is.
Only 8 pieces of trivia this week, David. What did you think about that?
I thought it was good. I thought it was concise.
Okay.
I liked it. They were all interesting pieces of trivia. It's good.
What are you trying to say about my normal trivia?
No, I'm just saying those in particular were all very interesting pieces of trivia.
What are you trying to say about the episodes where I do 20 pieces of trivia?
Well, it could be 20 interesting pieces of trivia.
But it isn't, is it?
No. No, it's frequently not. No, it's I'm shitting on you here a little bit. It is genuinely normally very interesting trivia. It might not sound like it on my part. Well, there's other times it's like the same trivia 7 times in a row. Although sometimes that can be quite interesting.
Sometimes I read the same bit of trivia a few different times and I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Or I read trivia and I'm like, that's not true. Who wrote this?
You.
Me, like a year ago when I did all the research.
Yeah, younger you.
Yeah. At a WAF, when I was just a sly years old.
Yeah. Yep.
A youthful spring chicken at the age of...
Exactly.
It's my version of censoring my current age.
Yeah.
Are we waffling?
Sure.
David, What did you think of this episode? David, what was your one bit of animation that you actually quite liked? We tried to waffle, and you just...
I shut down.
And I was like, let's move on. It's time for a segment.
It's what gets us through the day.
What was your one bit of animation that you actually quite liked? I have mine. Lock, stock, and barrel.
Very good.
Bang!
Oh.
My one bit of animation.
What the fuck is going on? There's no alcohol in this. I swear it. What the fuck is going on?
I'm trying to get energy. I'm really feeling the podcast now.
Right, good.
My one bit of animation that I actually quite liked.
Wait.
This is a robbery, and I'm hijacking your segment.
You did that last time. Just wait.
2 weeks in a row. I like the bit where Homer...
I'm going to stop this recording.
No, you're not, man. You can't.
I'm going to stop this recording. My one bit of animation is when Homer is cutting the cables at the end. And he cuts out
it's not really a bit of
the
animation,
the third cable. It's overall pretty good animation in general.
See, my one bit of animation.
Hold on. I don't sit here and disturb your Three Blind Mice trivia all the time.
It would make the show more interesting.
Yeah, that's true.
I like the fact, by the way, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I'm aware.
you said something and I went, you ever interrupt Three Blind Mice trivia ever again?
Yes, yeah, I'm aware.
No, I'm saying, I wish you would. It'd make it more interesting. What did you like about Homer cutting his cable?
So, yeah, I like I just thought the cut idea was just like spot on.
Yeah.
So I like the joke about the fact that, he's cutting the cable. First off, he's cutting a power pylon.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know how he didn't die.
Why
but whatever.
He just cut the cable
going to the house
to the back of the TV?
I don't know. Pull the fucking cable out of the TV. Whatever.
Bin it.
Doesn't matter.
Cut it in half and then chuck it in the bin. And it'd be done.
Yeah. Got the end off the connector off the end of the cable. Couldn't put it back in.
My one bit of animation I actually quite liked.
I hadn't finished.
Well, tough piss.
So when Homer clips the when he cuts the second cable,
put on his
the rest of Springfield loses
bars
power.
The Homer
and see when he cuts
windows
the third cable, he mentions about third time lucky
in a prison of his own
the
making.
videotape ends, and that's it. Done.
None of that's usable, by the
way. Yeah.
My one bit of animation actually is when Homer realizes the error of his ways, and there's that panning shot through the window, and Homer's separated from Marge and Lisa by the window bars that he put up to represent prison bars, as though he was in a prison of his own making.
Right. Very good.
What did you like about this episode? Would you give this episode a yay or a nay?
I'll give it a yay.
Trying out new segments.
I'll give it a yay.
David's yay or nay?
Yay.
Moving on. That's a recurring segment if ever I've heard one.
Oh, shit. Yes it is.
This has been Insert Brain here, a Simpsons podcast. Are we going to talk about the episode, or are we going to keep pissing about?
Let's talk about the episode. So you mentioned about the fact that you really like the sort of moral side of the story.
I think it holds up despite the technical aging of the episode.
Yes.
The actual content of the episode has aged, I guess, poorly.
Yeah.
In the sense that that's not relevant anymore.
Yeah.
But that's not really what the episode...
Well, we have discussed parallels that you could potentially use. And if you think about it like that parallel, then it's not too out of concept, I suppose.
What I'm saying really is that the cable isn't the focus of the episode. It's not really.
Yeah.
It's Homer struggling with his theft.
I guess, yeah.
And growing a moral compass.
Yeah.
Even the Lisa stuff isn't really that important.
It's not really, no.
It's just another lens to view the issue through.
Yeah. I think from what we sort of discussed earlier, or what your thoughts on it earlier, I think that if Lisa's issue with it was tied in a bit better, then I think I wouldn't have had the sort of, I'm not going to say disinterest, because it's not disinterest. I enjoyed the episode, but the lack of sort of,
I think,
care of the episode, I guess,
that connection. Linking those two stories together, I guess what you could call an A and B plot, even though they're both
running simultaneously.
They're both about the same thing as well.
Yeah,
I think would have taken this from a pretty good episode to a really great episode.
Oh, I think that would have been a really good episode, and I think it would have been a really nice episode, because it would have been a moment between sort of father and daughter,
Homer and Lisa.
Yeah, and I think it would be a really quite a nice episode to see. Would have sort of almost kind of bonded them a bit more as well.
Which is not something that we've really seen by this point, previously in other episodes.
Also, it would be Lisa kind of winning, I guess, a little bit over Homer, because he had put his foot down for, made a point of it against Marge.
Yeah, that Quentin Tarantino shot.
Yes, yeah.
Of the foot right in front of the camera.
Yeah, yep. And then Lisa sort of swaying him, changing his mind, and really sort of solidifying that, the father-daughter sort of dynamic. If anyone listening has ever had a sister, or has a sister, sorry, if you ever want something from your dad, you point your sister at him and get her to ask, because that's the best chance of success.
I cannot relate to either of those points, but very good.
But yeah, that's if we ever wanted to go to the cinema or something, that's what we did. Kicked my sister in the general direction of my dad, and after feeding her the idea, and that's how we got there. That's usually how it ended up going. So yeah, that kind of bond would have helped, definitely. I think that would have really tied in sort of showed off the bond a little bit, but also would have tied in the episode and the moral compass parts of the episode
it also,
a lot nicer.
I think would have been the first Homer Lisa episode.
Yes, I think it probably would be.
When I mentioned in trivia, right? Lisa's name was added to the title.
Yeah.
Because episodes with her name in it did better. What previous episodes besides Moon and Lisa?
That's it. Moon and Lisa. Did Moon and Lisa do ridiculously well in ratings or something? Make them think that was a thing?
Maybe. Must have done. Because trivia's never wrong.
Must have done.
Mastodon.
Right.
This has been Insert Brain here, a Simpsons podcast. I've been your host, Connor, and with me, as always, has been my co-host, David.
That's me.
You can find us on
You getting somewhere there, Connor?
You can find us on Instagram at Insert Brain Here Pod, or on Twitter at T422. That's T, the letter T, 422.
Yeah.
Check out our website, insertbrainhere.podcastpage.io. Leave us a 5-star review on the podcast host of your choice. Subscribe and like to the YouTube channel. We'll be back next week where we'll talk about Season 2, Episode 14, Principal Charming. The 30th episode of our podcast, Insert Brain Here.
Yeah. Big 3-0.
3-0.
Goddamn.
Wow.
You almost reacted like the way I react to your trivia.
Okay. This has been a T422 production.
Yep. And smell you later.
Smell you later. Anything else you want to add, David, before we say goodbye?
No. Aye.
Tatty bye.